So, all right, welcome everyone. This is CEO Days March. Know yourself. And today's workshop really brings together the concept of being a business owner, being a human on this awesome face of this planet, and trying to figure out how the two of them work together in best way, shape, and form and identity. Because sometimes we know that being a business owner is the biggest mirror that we can pull up to ourselves and say, wow, who are we and how are we doing things? What habits, what techniques, what tactics, what firm beliefs or past beliefs or future needs and zesty things that we want? How does it all come together as a business owner in the journey that we have as a business owner with our ups and downs and all arounds? So, in our Know Yourself year, this is a really good exercise to really look at the person operating this whole fueling, exciting, burning, passionate business that you have. So, I want to kick us off today on a really simple exercise. I know most of you know here. It's called the brain dump. The brain dump is a powerful way to get to focus on what it is that, what it is that you need to do by clearing the noise first. Oh, I'm sorry. Leslie, if anyone can't hear me, maybe volume up is always a good one. Sorry if she can't hear. But let's go ahead and kick off our brain dump right now so we can get centered. If you do finish, I want you to really just think about circling one thing that feels like, that's a Dana thing to do, or that's a Jeff ism, or that's a Jill kind of thing. And I really want to have you figure out where you see these things stick out. So let's go ahead and get started with our brain dump, and I will give us all about 8 minutes to do so. Hey, Leslie, we're in our brain dump right now, just giving you the update. So we're about minute 3 of our brain dump if you can hear us. I'm going to go ahead and share that in the chat.
My headphones aren't working and I'm in a coffee shop, so I'm going to join on my phone
Okay,
and that
whatever is
will help me hear
easier.
you better. So sorry.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. All right, on your brain dump, it's everything that you have going on. Use it as a journal, as a little way to capture this month in your business. Specifically this week, I like to use my brain dumps each and every Monday because we have CEO days on Mondays. It's like every Monday, I use more and more of the extra pages as weekly brain dumps. Even if you can just put a tiny little reminder or a little tidbit, anything that comes to mind, we're going to write it down. Maybe in detail, maybe it's just a quick bullet point.
I've made it. I'm so sorry.
We're so glad that you're here. Do not worry. Welcome, welcome. You're here, you're here.
Thank you.
Of course. All right, let's give it about one more minute, friends, on our brain dump. And as you look at what's going on in and around you, I want you to really notice where you fit into this. Like, where are you in your brain dump? Where do you feel like the most of yourself and who you are? And where do you feel like something may not be really in the best alignment? And maybe we don't know yet. Is there anything about the things on your list that you know you'd have to be out of your own space and your own comfort zone to get to or to reach toward? Just really look at what's on your plate at the very current moment after your brain dump. Welcome, Deb. Okay, let's see. How did we do? How are we feeling about our brain dump? Any big ahas with your list?
Comment.
Hi, Jill.
Hello. Um, I think your question, where are you in the brain dump,
Yes, yes.
really stuck with me because I was like, oh yeah. So that was revealing, and I still feel like that's coming up. And it's interesting because I had a tiny little activation earlier this morning, and then I can feel like that's spinning still, you know? And so I saw that reflected in the brain dump little it how something personal went into the business,
Okay.
right? Like it was a ton, and it's this big, and it's not it's not that big of a deal, but I have a part that feels activated about it, and how then I did the next thing on my list without slowing down a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm not appreciating the thing I did, the live. And so it's like that's kind of what. And then I just have this like really, really long list of things I want to do and need to do. So that was the other reveal. It's like, oh my God, the business one is like this long.
Yeah.
So
So it might be definitely spring in your business when you feel like there's a lot of new and budding ideas and a lot of exciting new pieces come up. So take a little inventory on that and say like, okay, does the weather shift or the sun being out more? Does it do something for you when you see, your mood change or your energy levels shift. It allows you to be more creative, maybe in your business. This is really important to know because sometimes we try to push ourselves so much in seasons or times that are not the right fit for us at that moment. And this is all part of knowing our patterns, right? Knowing ourselves. All right. Anyone else want to share, Jeff, Leslie, Deb, in your brain dump? Is there anything that you can really look at and be like, this is where I'm seeing my own self. I will say that like today, like I did my CEO days exercise last night, but just today I feel like my distractions all over. And I'm like, okay, I know that after completing a big project or doing a big something, I need time to just, woo, like the focus is all over the place. And it's okay. No shame in that. It's like, I got to build that into my system that I need more breaks after a big project. And what does that look like? And good to know because that means I don't offer another giant project when something big has rolled off because I can't operate at my best. I feel too distracted. And what does that look like? And what does that mean? Just as an example to everybody, right? Like I'm observing that of myself. So anything that you want to share or take away, this is your time. And while we did our brain dump, I did this backwards on purpose. We're going to go back to our intention for today. So sometimes we do our intention before, but I'm like looking at your brain dump. Does your intention for today and why you showed up a shift? What do you want to be here for, and why did you come to the session today? So let's go ahead and do that next is what is your intention for being here today? And mine was extremely long. I had to write on all the white pieces of my page too. So now that you did your brain dump, we're going to go a little backwards. Flip back to page 2. What is your intention for today? And that, my friends, I want to hear from everyone. What is your intention for knowing yourself? CEO Days, March 2026. If you can, you could throw it in the chat too if it feels easier to do so.
My intention is my fuel of the year. My intention of the year is simplify, simplicity.
Beautiful. So to make March, or I'm sorry, April more simple too, because we're planning for March or April. Blech, bleh, bleh. I'm looking at the word March. Jeff, did you have anything, or if you're there with us? I know you had to step out for something. Leslie, anything? Your intention for today?
Yes. Um, I am hoping to kind of straighten out my priorities because I have so many ideas and things that I want to do, and I for sure bit off more than I can chew at the
Mhm.
beginning of this year. And I need to say, hey, all of these ideas are great, but what do you want to do right now?
Yeah.
Because you cannot do everything all at once. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping to super clarify today.
Okay, I feel like I designed this workshop for you. There was a time in my business where that was what my theme was, is biting off more than I could chew. And then 12 years later, whatever it is, I finally figured out that like it's okay to say no to things and it's okay to push things a little bit further, like a month out or whenever you're ready. Because doing it now, doing it like in force and full effect sometimes doesn't always yield the best outcome. So this is so wonderful that you're here today. Okay, beautiful. Let's go ahead and move on to our page now 4. We're going to our 30-day reflection. And so in our 30-day reflection, we are looking back at March. 30 days ago was February 23rd when our last CEO Days event commenced. And there were some really powerful things that may have happened in and around your business, whether that was a win or a challenge. Either one is something that happened for you, not to you, but for you, for your business. So let's go ahead and try to recognize those wins and recognize those challenges. 2 columns there, and I want to hear from you when they come up. We love celebrating wins here at CEO Days. So let's give ourselves about 5 minutes to do this exercise. All right. And then when you look at your wins and challenges, think about this as a declaration statement about your habits, your mindset, and your beliefs of yourself as an entrepreneur. When I ask the question from looking at your wins is who do you like to become? Look at your wins as like a summary statement or a declaration statement saying, yes, I am capable of these things, and this is who I am now moving forward at this next level. Okay. So, what does that look like? So, if you're winning in your finances and getting clients, I want you to say, I'd like to become the strategic salesperson I know I am and booking X amount of memberships or tickets or vacation packages, whatnot, to each of the things that you're doing. As an example, now this could just be reflected in something that you want personally or professionally, but I want you to put that in a declaration statement of who you'd like to become. When you look in the mirror, this is what you say to yourself because you believe it's true. This is powerful. You believe it is true of yourself because you've done it before, maybe one or two wins, but that can also change the identity of who you are as you speak to yourself, right? as you speak to yourself, who do you want to become? And the same thing on the next side is who do you want to grow from? These challenges are not here on your page by any means a mistake. All of these challenges have come to give you guidance and a boost and a little nudge and a push of what next we are working toward. So, who do you want to grow from? So, who is that person you once were that you no longer believe yourself to be? Would anyone like to share their who do you like to become or who would you like to grow from statements, declaration statements?
You know, Dana, that's a, a really good one and very pertinent to stuff I'm doing now.
Good.
There's and Jill, you'll get a kick out of this too. I think the there's a concept, not a concept, there's a thing called the mandorla. And a mandorla is like a two-circle Venn diagram. And it shows up in pagan things, it shows up in Christianity, it shows up over thousands of years. And what that is the idea of on the left side, it'd be a circle. It's like I am a spiritual being. On the right side, it says I'm also human, right? I'm an animal, I'm a mammal, right? This thing, and you see it frequently in pictures with Christ or Virgin Mary, where they're in that almond shape. Mandorla simply means almond in Italian,
Oh.
okay? And it is the sitting with two opposites equally. So in Buddhism, it's equanimity. In indigenous species, it's what's wolf do you feed? You know, the white wolf or the black wolf, right? The good wolf, the bad wolf, right? The evil wolf. Which do you feed? And it's not about trying to eliminate one, because if you try to eliminate those things, it just becomes stronger, it becomes more desperate.
Hmm.
So the exercise, and it's a good one, is drawing a circle and putting in who is Jeff on the left. And I did this actually yesterday to get ready for doing this over the weekend. And it says things like kind, loving, husband, sober, curious, smart, right? All of those things. And on the left side, it says defensive, guarded, loner, but those are true.
Yeah.
And all of those things are true at every moment of every day,
Right. Right.
right? But that mandorla piece is who I'm trying to create. So
Yes.
your 30-day reflection, who am I trying to create, knowing that both of these are true?
Mm-hmm.
And what it does is it really restricts your ability to label things like I want to be more loving or I want to be more kind, because that doesn't acknowledge the right circle. And people tend to end up with pictures in that middle piece. And so like my picture is this big sun with these bright rays
Yeah.
and dark clouds with lightning bolts over it, but then underneath are flowers and like a little stream. So
Mm.
I'm just trying to hold feelings because feelings aren't words, feelings are feelings. I'm
Mhm.
trying to hold both of those truths and accept that tension that I might try something new and make fail,
Yeah.
right? Or the example that I used with Carrie is, like when Carrie and I have to have difficult conversations, knowing that I'm defensive and guarded, I might not have them. And I might just react out of anger so that I avoid that conversation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if I can recognize that those are qualities about me that are true and hold those and know that the worst thing that's going to happen if I talk to Carrie, who's the love of my life, that the worst thing that's going to happen is I might be embarrassed and I might be wrong about something,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to get annihilated by a saber-toothed tiger.
Right.
And so every time that I do that and I come out of it alive, it strengthens my ability to approach a difficult conversation again,
Yeah.
to not be as fearful. So I'm beginning to create that third thing,
Mandorla, you said, right?
the mandorla. Yeah.
Mandorla. Beautiful. This is, you hit it right on the head, Jeff. It's like, let's not be at battle with these things that we're trying to grow from because we need them there. They exist as part of us, as part of our tool set, right? Because when certain things come up, it's a protection mechanism or it's a fallback reliability, experience where we're just like, okay, this is who we are, not to judge, not to shame, not to make us feel like there's something wrong with us, because we can still exist as the beautiful, brilliant CEO, entrepreneur, business owner, leader that we are in our space with all these things we're carrying. But I want us to recognize these things in celebration because just like Jeff said, is that we can still create amazing, amazing things in and around our business with things that we know we I don't even want to say we need to grow from or like completely get rid of because we're not. We're not going to always fix those
Mhm.
things. Like I know I forget a lot of times my own value and I let that stop me from taking action because I get tired. I get tired and I need rest. And I brought it up in a girls' night on Thursday night. She was like, a bunch of moms who most of them do not work and they don't have businesses, but our kids are the same age and we like to hang out. And sometimes I feel like the odd one out because I am the one with the juggling and the doing all the things. And it's like, oh, that would be fun to do all the things we're all in alignment of doing. But then I've got a bunch of other things I'm doing. And asking about business, I'm like, I'm just such a Capricorn. I am a Capricorn, but I get tired. I need rest sometimes. So she's like, well, you're always doing and doing more things. And I'm like, yes. And I sometimes am so tired and I just want to sit down and do nothing. But then I have more pieces of me that keep motivating me and throwing me back out there. And it's fun, but it's just like no guilt or shame. I'm just constantly doing stuff, right? And it looks a certain way to certain people, but that's my little tool set that I have. And I keep working at it as best as I can until I no longer want to do that at all, right? So thank you, Jeff, for sharing. I'm very, very excited that you related to that, especially with the Mandorla exercise and piece. That's so wise and insightful. So thank you for bringing that to our space today. Wonderful. Leslie, Deb, Jill, anyone want to add to this as a reflection of who we are and what we're carrying with us? I know, Jill, you put in the chat, but if there's anything else you want to add to.
I mean, I have a lot of wins on, I have more wins than challenges, and I actually had to struggle a little bit to put the challenges because, like you were saying, the wins, the challenges, and I'll share one. I was on a podcast and I did not like it. It did not go well, and we're dumping it and starting over again. I used my tools to create a shift, what I call alchemize it, right? So I took it from a fail to a
Mhm.
worthy fail and took it into this like whole other place of like, wait, where can I simplify my communication so I get my point across and I get my message to the people that it's supposed to get to.
Right.
And I don't know, I turned the whole thing around and she's was more than happy to re-record it with me. We don't have another date yet, but I'm trusting. I'm actually going to be on another podcast. So I was like, oh my gosh, I am so glad we got this out of the way. So it ended up being like I have it on both sides. I have it failed, like bomb the podcast, and then I have it on the other side, bomb the podcast, and it's a worthy fail. So, and I also want to celebrate that I opened up a membership this year that I had 16 yeses for the year. And then I had six singles who have not converted yet, but and the window's about to close, but I put entitled in there because that's holding me back. It's very subtle. Like I wouldn't think I'm entitled. Like that's not something that would normally like come out of my mouth. But when I'm going in deeper and really like pulling out these just old patterns, it's just this like, how could you not say yes to this? This is so awesome. Like you
Right.
should know how awesome this is. And it's like, okay, whoa. So I just have this part of me that's, I'm healing and wanting to show up without just as sovereign, like, hey, if it's a holy nirvana, yes for you, great. If not now, great. No strings attached. So that's where I'm working to get. I mean, I'm mostly there, but still with this, like I can feel the pull
Yeah.
for these six people who haven't said yes yet, right? Or on the fence. And I got a bonus person this weekend I wasn't expecting. So like it just kind of staying open to all that. So I thought I would share that piece.
That's beautiful. And thank you. Yeah, sometimes the challenges feel hard to write because they're not necessarily suffering. It could be something that's like, oh, that I already figured out. I kind of ironed it out a little bit and it's cool. But it's good to name those maybe lessons or like, thank goodness you had that bombed podcast because it showed you how much in whether you prepared for it or you didn't. It's like, when tasked with a simplicity assignment, that showed you how to be more simplistic. Like you thought you had it, but you didn't, right? And cool, now you just know what to spend another 2 hours on a, extra little minute of your work on your business time. Awesome. Now you have more direction. Beautiful. All right, we're going to keep going, my friends. If you have anything else you'd like to continue to add, throw it in the chat. I love it. I love it. Okay, so clarity through letting go. Whew. Um, I want you to position this as a exercise of what you need as a business owner. Okay. If you've ever read the books like The E-Myth or Master, what is it? A Company of One, right? It talks about simplicity in what our role is. What is a business owner? What is an entrepreneur? What are these responsibilities we have as this position in this business that we have? So, business is an entity that has to generate income a little bit higher than our expenses, right? So, we want to always be in the growth stage and in the black, as we say, not in the red. And so, what is it that we truly need to do to move our business into the next stage, into a next month of thriving and prospering and being financially healthy or wealthy? So, in a sense, it has a monetary or capitalistic approach to it, but at the same time, I want you to think of this as a identity concept, an identity exercise of when you think business owner in yourself, what do you need and what do you need to let go of in order to operate as the best business owner you can? Leaning into your strengths and who you are becoming, and how does that make your business run in the black, right? So let's make it really straightforward and simple for ourselves. So, for instance, yes, we can do things all day that are fun and pretty and exciting, but what parts of our day make our business exist at the bank or on paper, right? Like, what is it? I'm gonna be really, um, I'm gonna be really like straightforward here. So just giving an example. For myself, I know that I've been struggling with certain things, right, for my challenges. So like I need X amount of hours within X amount of, time after a project to get these things done. If I let too much time pass before or after, it won't work. So something as simple as that, I'm writing it down. Now I have a plan. Now I have some marching orders to do. Or I need to invite 10 entrepreneurs to strategy sessions each month with the availability that is blah, blah, blah. If I'm going to grow my business the way I want to grow, I need to outline these things as such to be able to grow my business. And then I look at that and say, okay, I'm thinking about, I'll circle it and say editing time or project time requires being a better ask, being somebody who asks more for what I need. Inviting means sitting down and having that time to sit there and go back and forth with people a little bit, right? So put the picture in your head of what needs to be done in order for you to have a really great April. What needs to be done in your business and who do you need to become to get there, whether that's the type of task you have or what specific things you need to do. Okay. And then let's do the same thing for what you can let go of, right? I definitely know evening scrolling social media has got to go, right? I feel like social media time with me, if I don't leave my phone in a different room, I feel the emotional weight. And then part of my, like Jeff was saying, the black wolf of the situation is that's where the low self-confidence comes from. That's where the doubt comes from. That's where all those pieces. So if you can name part of the habits of what you're like going on that keep your business small, this is going to be a huge revelation for you, right? Is where in your day or where in your week or where in your month do you feel like you sometimes not directly, but indirectly and just by happenstance, you feed the wrong side of your personality that you need to grow and you need to become the like don't feed your not self, feed your highest self, if that makes sense. So can you name those things of what you can actually let go of to make you the best version of yourself as a CEO? So what else could you let go of? These could be deeply personal, so I don't really, especially in this exercise, I don't want to specifically call on anyone, but if there's anything you would like to throw in our circle here, please do. And poor Leslie's at a coffee shop out of all the places. No, I love working at coffee shops and like cute little places, but sometimes I do feel like I get really um I'm like, oh, I'm so glad to be there and try out a new space and be with other humans. But then sometimes it's like, oh, it's good and bad. I would like to do more coffee shop co-working.
Well, I'm just gonna name the the entitlement because that like you said something like name what keeps my business small.
Okay, yep, yep.
And I'm like, okay, for me, it's the entitlement, it's the attachments, it's the judgment. It's like that's the heaviness for me of that I'm like just releasing. It's like, okay, there's the shadow, I'm naming it, I'm gently releasing it,
Hmm.
simultaneously knowing that that's there and that if it's that might be something I end up actually helping clients with too. So,
Yeah.
and not rejecting it, but I am saying like the two said, feed the side, right? Don't feed the wrong side of yourself. So
Yeah.
for me, that's am I in my ego or am I in my soul? Because Soulful Sovereign Jill, like I'm a soul-led entrepreneur. My soul is the boss. My soul is the leader, and continually deferring, continually going back to that even after like this morning, I had this small activation with a friend, and then I stepped into my next project a little activated, and it's like, okay, that's okay, right? So
Yeah.
just constantly course correcting, basically.
And Jill, I know that you mentioned that like earlier today that happened, but is there any other places in your day or your regular routine that you allow, I would say, that entitlement to come up for you that you could probably start to remove from your day-to-day routine? Is there something specific that feels really tactical or practical around that?
I think the main thing is just when following up with people, because it is
Mhm.
this, you know how it is. It's a lot of follow up. People say yes to one aspect. Are they going to say yes to the rest of it? Are they done? Like it's, I think for me right now, the main thing that's coming to me is like the follow up,
Yeah.
in the follow up, releasing that entitlement.
Cool. Beautiful. Okay, great. Thank you. Anyone else letting go,
Yeah,
naming, leaving?
it's funny to look at this page, Dana, because this weekend the retreat that Rachel and I are doing is called Letting Go.
Perfect.
So it's good lead. And the line that keeps going through my head that we can all use is, if I knew I only had one more year in this business, right? What would I do? So that, I mean, the overall is if I only had one year to live, how would I live that, right? But this being a business thing, it is. And so here's what I've learned, and something that's really holding me back. So I'm 74. Um, I'm finding myself more difficult. It's more difficult for me to put a stake in the ground for what I want to do, knowing that one more year puts me 6 months beyond life expectancy for a white male in the United States.
Oh,
So and I say that from I'm fine, right?
yeah.
But I'm noticing how that there is a time limitation now coming on.
Mm,
For what I want to leave from the learnings I've had from recovery and faith and gratitude and all these things, what do I want to leave? And if somebody chooses to use it, great.
right.
But what is it that I want to leave?
Right.
And I find myself more and more getting into these, let's do this, comma, but if you do that, it doesn't do this, right? Well,
Yeah.
let's do this then, comma, but if you do that, so my truly need is a very clear, concise, measurable stake in the sand, clarity, and try it
Yeah.
versus don't even try it.
Yeah.
Mm.
I mean, it's as a marketing strategist too, how many times people wrestle with their offerings when it's like, what if you just took what you decided you wanted to do and don't change it and do it all in? They're afraid to go all in. And then they say it's a marketing problem. It's a decision problem, right? Because when you decide and you're clear on what you want to do, nobody else cares. They're going to buy it regardless if it's you or somebody else. There's a market for it. Just decide. Decide that you are going to give it your all for 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, whatever it is, and go all in and sell that thing. And I think as entrepreneurs, we get too much, I guess we just have a loose lead with, well, you can change your offerings and you can shift things around and move your prices and put packages here and here. It's like, if the value doesn't fit, just subtract a few things for the people that need that value. Don't change your price and your whole offering just because it's like offer what you do and just stick to it. And I love that you're getting clear on that. But, I see it a lot. You're not the only one. And I feel like it's difficult to have so much choice and option when you feel like, well, it's what I'm selling. And no, it's just sell it. just sell it and go all in. You got it. You have it. I love it. All right. Let's go ahead and let's get really clear on ourselves and that image in the mirror. And so our self as an entrepreneur, it sticks with me so much. And I love that this is what comes up in March here. It's the concept of no one and nothing will teach you more about yourself than running a business and putting your whole everything out there on the internet and selling online and taking over your social media profiles to be part of a business asset and say, this is who you are and what you do. Ouch or yay, right? There's so much about this that I feel like we don't even acknowledge how much of an identity overhaul it is to be a business owner. It's something not talked about enough and not expressed enough. Yet the pressures and the demands of showing up authentically and your marketing is yourself. I mean, that's what I deal with all day, every day. And so I want us to really, though, look at this as a reflection of opportunity, right? And Leslie mentioned in the beginning of how she bites off more than she can chew. That's not a bad thing. That she's ambitious and extremely motivated and absolutely inspired. And what a beautiful thing. And so at the same time, she's maybe over promising. I'm sorry, Leslie, I'm talking for you here. But you can come up with your own story of who you are, but I want you to fuel your identity as a purpose of leading you into your business in the next level, not just thinking, oh, well, I must be bad at that, right? Or how many people say, I'm not good at technology. I'm bad at that, and it's something I can't do. Or I'm not good at marketing. It's something that I'm just not willing to be good at, or I'm not really good at money. Money's not my thing. I can't be a business owner with money and I can't do well with money. So I'm just going to stay comfortable with offering as little as I can offer, maybe free, and that's all you do, right? Let's shift that, right? Let's change that. Let's be part of this CEO days, the CEO image being the best part about being in business is being able to say, I am really amazing at certain things. And when I look at my habits and who I am, I could do it. I could totally do it. So let's think about how we can look at our business selves and being able to identify a few key things that we can take away when we look in the mirror. So when you look in the mirror right now, what is it that we really see? And I want to see us for the truth, not just the strengths, not just the weaknesses, but what is the truth about what we see? And there's a little space on page 6 to write. And I want this to be really free flowing about what it is that you see right here, right now. When you look at your eyes, do they feel excited and sparkly and innovative and excited and inspired? Or are they tired and gray and just they lost their luster? When you look at your nose, do you feel like you're really seeking the next step, or do you feel like you're just kind of swarming in the garbage around you? When you look at your lips and your mouth, are you feeling like it's been saying the words that need to be said, or do you feel like they're pursed and holding back and silent and not being used to the best of their ability? When you look at your hair and your just like your overall ensemble, like do you feel like you're presenting your best? Do you feel tired has your hair not been washed in weeks because you're just going day to day to day and you don't even know what day it is today? It's Monday, by the way. When you look at your ears, do you feel like there's enough things coming into them that inspire you and that you're hearing the words that feel like it lifts you up? Are they fulfilled with, uh, you know, reasons to reach for your next project or a different insightful way to look at something? When you see your throat, does it feel closed and tight and tense, or does it appear to be relaxed and at ease and peace? Most importantly, look at your shoulders. Are they sitting back and down and have spaciousness and gooiness to them? Or are they as tight as a rock and up to your ears and you're just so overworked? Looking back down to the rest of your torso, does it feel contorted or hunched in, or are you open and receiving? How about your fingers? Do they feel worn and just exhausted, like you've been doing way too much and you need to be more open and just, loose with the way that your hands feel? Moving down the rest of your body as you look at yourself. Do you sit too much? Are you not moving enough with your legs and your feet? Do the places your feet bend just feel like your rusty old socks with a bunch of holes in them and dog hair, and you need to be getting your shoes on and going out more places because you've been staying inside too long? What is it that you really see when you look at yourself? And is this an indication of change, or is this an indication of complete clarity, of being in the right place at the right time, in the right vibe, in the right energy, with enough rest and enough resources and all the community to support you around you? What do you see? And you can use the next page on page 7. You can draw yourself. You can do a little self-portrait. You can write down some, um, some key elements to your self-portrait. It's okay if you want to draw like a 5-year-old. That's how I'm drawing right now. Doesn't have to be fancy, but get the point across. What do you see? What elements of your business body and your personal body feel in alignment or misalignment? You are your business leader. What would you like this business leader to look like or to feel like? Keep reflecting on this for another 2 minutes, and maybe you have a little makeover that you want to propose to yourself. I remember I did a business. Well, Jeff and I were talking about he's going to Paris um and would tell me other countries or France, Nice,
We're doing Paris, Lyon, Nice, and London for three
London.
weeks.
And so we talked about, oops, if you forgot your luggage or it got lost along the way, it's super fun to have a shopping spree. What kind of clothes would you bring? What kind of clothes would you wear, right? If that's important. Like, do you feel like you're in clothes that the texture feels like it's up to date? I don't know if you guys can see this, but behind me, ugh, I have a giant pile that's like humongous. It's all the clothes that I'm getting rid of. And I'm like, I told my husband last night, it's like a new Dana is coming out. So we're having a garage sale, and I cannot wait to get rid of all these old clothes and bring in what I feel like is so much more of who I want to be. I've had stuff for kind of like 10 to 15 years in that pile that I'm like, it's ready to go. Even though it looks okay, I'm like, that's not the level of business owner I am anymore. Like, I'm ready to look a little more polished and put together and comfortable at the same time, with more organic, natural materials that aren't polyester and crazy things that make me feel like I'm suffocating. Breathable would be the word. So all that stuff matters, right? We feel comfortable in what we're wearing and what we appear as, and yet professional on who we're trying to attract in terms of our ideal clients. So there's a lot here. We don't realize that when we look at ourselves, what we're saying and how we're saying it. Another thing is like you can tell, especially in like our friend group, that people who read books and read often, and those who don't, just the dialect and the way they speak and how their words get put together. How many likes, ums, and pauses happen when they feel like they're, speaking in a certain tone. It's interesting. All those things are part of who they are. Does anyone have any questions or big takeaways from this exercise?
Hi, Dana.
Hi, Deb. Good to see
Hi.
you.
Yeah. So what this is bringing up for me is judgment.
Hmm,
A judgment about, how I speak, my hair and things like that. So I think the more I think about it, the more like I'm judging myself, and that self-critic is coming out. It's like,
sure.
oh, like you don't speak like a business owner, and you don't speak professionally, or all those voices that are coming up.
And I'm going to ask you this, Deb, because it may not matter at all, but maybe it does matter, right? You decide. Does that matter to the type of business owner you are and who you want to become? Because I do think that there is sometimes a nudge in there. Like I remember when I was first starting out and I was asking a client for $3,500 each month to work with me. And I had somebody in my network were like, well, like that may not matter to some, but you need a new wardrobe, my dear. If you're going to be speaking on stage and asking for these prices and presenting to these specific audiences, those things could turn someone off or make you, whatever. So I was like, great, I need a power suit. I'm ready for it. It's great. Speaking, right? Being fully present, showing up for the audience that I want to serve at the level that I want to serve as. Other times, when I'm thinking about CEO days, maybe, or like other spaces that are more casual, totally didn't even matter if I was wearing sweatpants on the bottom of my screen on Zoom, right? So you decide, my dear, does that indicate an opportunity of growth? Or does it indicate that you're right where you need to be? This is why we do this exercise because it is truly looking into the mirror and saying, what parts are necessary? What parts are giving us clues on knowing ourselves? That this is, I know this about myself, and this is why, fill in the blank. This is why you are where you want to be, or you may not be where you want to be. It's up to you, right? So I love that you're getting that sense, but yet not to shame you, but also to inspire maybe what this means for where you want to go as a business owner, right? Does that help?
Well, yeah, it does. I guess for me, it becomes like, okay, I'm not good enough to speak out there, and and then it becomes a fix it project. Like, because I've been in Toastmasters for 10 years
Yeah.
trying to, and like improvement project and
Mm.
never get to the point where, okay, I'm good enough to, put myself out there now. I can speak eloquently in public. Like I never get there.
Yeah.
So then I get stuck.
Okay. Yeah. And I definitely want you to sit with that. It's like totally, totally just depends on what you feel about that, right? It's all about what you think, Deb, not what anyone else thinks. This exercise is more of like introspective. Um, like, did I say that one right? Not introspective, introspective, right? It's like inside. How does that feel to you so you can be your best self, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I
I
guess
know
it
that,
just needs more reflection. I just have to maybe reflect on that a little bit more.
and it's nothing to obsess over, right? Like, I want this exercise to feel like like the purpose of knowing ourselves is to help us to navigate where we may feel stuck and where we are at business. And it's like, it goes back to you can only have so many clients that drop you. Like, it's like, okay, well, I know that I'm just giving a just really blanket example. So I'm a photographer, and it's like, I always have clients, and this is not true, but like, to have clients that only work with you one time, they say the great things, and then they end up working with somebody later on, somebody else. Okay, after the first or second client, it's like, oh, it's probably them, and they have this. After the 100th client or 150th client, okay, that's me. That's a me thing that I need to fix. If I want these people's repeat business, there's something that I have to do to make sure that these are repeat customers, that they're not always going to somebody else. What's my follow-up strategy? Did I rub them the wrong way and say something that I indicated I didn't want their business again? Right? You look inward and you say, okay, after so many years, after so many times of the same outcome happening, it's something with me that needs to change, not you can't blame it on other people so many times. So it's like the same thing goes with like if we're talking about speaking engagements, you have a great highlight reel, you have wonderful content, everyone loves you, but then it's like nobody buys the high ticket item. They all sign up for the free stuff. Well, maybe it's a value thing. That's a me thing. That you know what I mean? So you're looking at maybe apply it to something in your business that you want to shift or change. Look inward and say, when I really look at myself, not just your looks, but your habits, your feelings. Like I love the exercise. Like, are you tense in your neck and you feel like your shoulders are up to your ears? You're too stressed out. So maybe you're just you need to have some relaxation. It's time for a vacation. Sometimes our body and our mind body tell us so much about what's going on that we can't even call it. So we look in the mirror, we're saying, oh, okay, there's a lot of wear and tearing going on here. We need to take a break or make sure that we're organizing our business as such that we're putting way too much on a human being for ourselves. Like we're working our worker bee selves way too hard right now, and that's not sustainable. Does that make more sense? So maybe apply what your business needs to something in yourself to give you a little bit more direction on what needs to happen. Like I know for me, the biggest thing I'm trying to figure out is I feel like every day I'm like ping-ponging a bunch of too many juggling things at once. So I'm looking and I'm like, oh, because I'm doing way too much in one day and it's too much of variety. I need to go back in and shift it, right? Because it's just making me tired and not actually producing much. Something like that. So just giving you some examples of how to use this exercise versus leaving today and feeling like you just beat yourself up for the last 2 hours, because I do not want that to happen at all. Yeah. Does that make
No, that's
sense for
good.
everybody too? Anything else you want to add? Yeah, so apply it to maybe one of those pieces in your brain dump or one of those challenges that you wrote down. What can you apply this reflection to give you more clarity and focus on that you feel like you can create a beautiful April with? Like if April was the best month ever, it's not just about money or okay, well, in order to have a wonderful month, I need 10 clients. Okay. Well, now what, right? What are we going to do about that? How are we going to get there? What does that really actually mean? Is 10 clients going to make us more stressed out and more overworked and our socks being even more worn down because we really never left the house? How fun is that, right? Let's make more meaning out of these things as well, right? What do we truly want? I know when someone asks me, what do I want? Sometimes that's the hardest thing, right? What do you want? I don't know. I'm a business owner. I want to be busy, I guess. I want to sell out all my programs, right? Like, is that what I really want? I don't know. So, part of these exercises are, again, here for you to see things that you may be overlooking time and time again. I like to market my event with, hey, you're posting on social media so much and you forget to you forget that the way you showed up is, I don't know. Like sometimes we just need to look at ourselves and just really look at the person in the mirror and see like who are we staring back at and who are we staring back as? And does that matter? And what are we trying to make meaning from that reflection? Okay. All right. So any other big takeaways or ahas from our space here with our reflection on ourselves? Anything else? Anyone have any big revelations, celebrations, patting ourselves on the back?
I'll just say that I actually drew. I can't draw. That's not my thing, but I was guided to like draw my face and then like, how do my eyes look? How do my ear? And I was sort of like a little bit of how it is, but then also I was manifesting like, well, how I want it to be. So that was really fun. Like I actually enjoyed it. And then I never thought about like eyes, ears, nose, mouth, throat. When I got to the throat, I've been having like a really scratchy throat.
Mm,
And I was like, okay, like just irritation, scratchiness, clearing it, all of that.
yeah.
And there's like just something else that's clearing for me. So I was like, okay, like that's where I need to just bring, my healing energy and slow it down. And so I think it was really beautiful. And then I wrote on my shoulders, because they do feel like they're down right now because I had a massage. Where are my wings? That's what I
Mm,
wrote because I'm an angel healer, so that's what I
yeah.
do. I talk about angels, think about angels. I'm like, where are my wings? So that was just like, I actually think it was a beautiful reflection. And also just an awareness of where still holding back, right? Still holding back my medicine or my gifts. So I really enjoyed this. Thank you. I've been enjoying and everything you shared to Deb too. Deb, by the way, I can totally relate to like judging yourself when you're looking like, so I just like, I have so much compassion for you because I so have done that a bazillion times, but I feel like sometimes you're in the middle of it and then like an hour later something shifts. So that's what I'm hearing for you. Like you'll have the shift of the release.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, thank you. Thank you both. All right, we are going to continue on. I want us all to have plenty of work time in our work sprint here. So, April, let's think about April. We've got springtime, we've got like a little bit of greener grass coming up, bluer skies, hopefully some rainy days coming up. In your business, what does it mean for you to really make some significant progress in April? As a photographer, it's very big on booking season for me for events and headshots and people getting ready to like kind of step out of the house a little bit more. So think about what it is that you really need to get done in your business today. Maybe take that reflection. Like I love that Jill mentioned her throat and scratchiness, and if she wants to show up more on more podcasts, maybe some nourishment and hydration and like kind of curing that would help ease her into the next set of speaking engagements that she has so she doesn't have to feel so held back and distracted by what's going on, even just to speak at some opportunities. Other reasons that we put this work sprint in here is because the admin work or the specific things that we need to work on to move our business forward oftentimes gets pushed way down on the list that we actually don't get to. And without those really monumental things, oh, I forgot about tax day, right? April 15th, tax day, like business taxes. Is there anything you need to wrap up for your corporate business taxes, right? Like, I'm not an accountant, I am not a CPA, I am not a tax specialist. Roxanne usually, I know she's on vacation now too, but like, she's usually the one to talk about that. But it's like tax season and accounting and all the numbers stuff. Like, what in your business have you felt like you just really needed that extra 30 minutes of space to work on to move some momentum in? I want you to write that down, what you would get done today, and any next steps that need to happen in order to keep that momentum going outside of this meeting space today. Go ahead and write that down on page 8 in your workbook, and we will then take a quick visual pause so you all can be working on your work sprint. So go ahead and write that down. I'm going to get some really good things going today. If you need some support on what to do during this time, go back to your brain dump. See if you can chop down one more thing outside of your non-client work that could really move your business forward as well. Any networking opportunities you need to register for, any follow-ups in your business that you need to create some sales calls for. You have a stack of business cards you need to follow up with from a networking event last week, like I do right here. Things like that. Welcome back. Welcome back. All right. So let's hear how your work time has been. Did we feel like we got some good momentum flowing? Anything really positive in the direction that you wanted to go, or did we sit and spin for a minute?
It was valuable because you know, I just want to show up and and add value to my people's lives. I mean, that's what I care about. And I know that I'm doing that through my podcast. I also know that my numbers are really down. And so I'm just in such conversation with how to serve, and what the podcast titles are supposed to be. So I add value to their life. And I did get clarity about it. There's still a little, I'm working with chat, and sometimes it's just like, actually getting a supercomputer to realize what I'm trying to say is surprisingly more challenging than you. Like she
Oh God.
forgets, I call her Lizzie. She forgets, like, wait, I have these three set things I always need to say, three
Yes.
set things that are like the frequencies. And then we can, mix everything in. So it's just been it's just interesting. But I'd say overall,
Yeah.
very positive because this was something that was big to do on my list. And I feel like I move forward with it. So thank you.
Podcasts are a big one to like really get the direction. And then how do you take all those hours of conversation and critique data from it? Very challenging to do, right? Like what the intention of the podcast is and where you want it to go and what impact you want it to make. Because conversations are so powerful in itself, but like to have a
But I'm not having a conversation. I'm calling my weekly teaching a podcast. And I think that's
got
the
it.
biggest thing. I'm
Sure.
actually thinking about just changing the name of it because it's not a podcast. I'm not conversing with anybody. I sit there and I say, this is who I am. This is what I'm teaching you today. This is the frequency I'm bringing. I pull a card for them. I invite them to coach with me. And then there's no conversation. It's not interviewing. It's not
Got
conversation.
it. Okay.
I just called it podcast because people understand what podcasts are. And
Yeah,
my
like an
coach did that,
audio.
but I'm wondering, I used to call them transmissions, but then I'm like, do people understand what that means? People aren't watching it. So I said, podcast, this is my weekly podcast. But I
Right.
think people think I'm having conversations with people. And then I'm like, am I confusing people more? It's like, what?
It's like, yeah, like a beautiful deliverable that you're just an audio deliverable. Ask Lizzie about what kind of ways to simplify that. I love that though. That's a good
It's
differentiation.
not an audio. I'm going live on
Oh,
YouTube,
yes,
Instagram, and Facebook at the same time, and they live on YouTube.
that's
So I
right.
am there. You can see
Yeah,
my hair. You can see my sparkly eyes. I'm pulling cards for people. I'm talking.
yeah,
I'm teaching. I'm talking. I'm inviting. That's what I'm doing. But
yeah.
I'm just like trying to simplify my message and
Mhm.
I'm creating a legacy of love. I know that. So maybe I'm 5 years ahead of my time and I'm speaking to people in the future, like, right? I don't know. We'll see.
Totally. Yeah, totally. A lot there. Beautiful way to get work on that. Okay, my friends. We are going to come up with our, I know Deb, you already got a head start because you have creating your plan and getting ready for April. So on your page, April 1st is Tuesday. So if you want a number Tuesday, April 1st, yes, yes.
Wednesday's April 1st, Lovey.
Shoot. Okay, thank you. I was second guessing myself. Okay,
4/1. 4/1
4/1.
is my brother's birthday, April Fool's Day. So I'm 100% sure it's a Wednesday.
And I just wrote that Tuesday the 31st is date night. And I'm like, wait, yeah, that's right. I was like, duh. Okay, so go ahead and number your calendar so you can really see the numbers in here. Because I was like, yeah, Sunday is the 5th. That's, um, there we go. Yeah, okay, perfect. Here's a date. Yeah, we're out of the 2 months back to back of Friday the 13th. How about that? In 30 days in April. Okay. So looking at your plan, looking at what needs to get done, any milestones, promotions, just different. Just different things that you want to jot down are really important to put there. I love that in the fact of your business, you can create due dates for yourself so you can start working backwards. Like any milestone you want to reach in your marketing, give it 4 to 6 weeks. Give yourself time, give your audience time, right? Um, and so it helps to see everything at a glance like this. So then you're able to really plan out where you need to be focusing on each week and each promotion. And also, like any maintenance things that need to happen in your business. Obviously, Wednesday the 15th is tax day. I think business corporate taxes are a different time as well. So I don't even know. I'm so bad with that. That's the CEO part of me that, sorry, I shouldn't name it like that. I shouldn't be judgmental. I should say I have resources and tools and people who take care of that for me, right? All of my corporate stuff is done. It's out. It's finished. So name your top priorities of the month as well. Like April could be a really focused month on what for you? Do you know? How can you go into a month stumbling along without really knowing what the priority is for the whole 30 days ahead? Let's write that down. And then obviously any other accountability partners and buddies or systems and groups that you can rely on because let's face it, we all get in our own way and it would be great to put those people in there. So anytime we feel like we are falling or just need a little extra oomph, we can have somebody at a text or email basis that we can just reach out to. I know Jill already is doing that with me. I love that she sent me a celebration email the other week or last week at one point of the week, and I was like, yes, this is exactly what this is for. So you can put me down as one of those accountability partners if you ever feel like you need to check in or ask some questions or have me look over anything. I'm more than happy to be that resource for you. And then as you keep that plan out on your desk, I want you to make it visible. I want you to make it filled out, nice and juicy, nice and exciting. You're also going to put in the important notes, something about the declaration you wrote about who you are. Because when we go day to day, like I mentioned, we can tell ourselves these really, like Deb even brought up, these judgmental things about ourselves that keep us held back. And that declaration section on your wins is what's going to cure that, at least for a very moment of feeling, like feeling a little bit more confident in yourself, because you all are so incredible and amazing and can do fantastic things. You've written them down less than an hour ago of all the cool things you can accomplish. So I don't want you to lose sight of that. So in the important notes, write down a little bit of that declaration of who you are and how you're able to completely make this month one of the best months in your business year.
Dana, can you speak to the milestones?
Yep. Yeah, milestones could be like I know that you were mentioning you have you have your program that you're offering and
The
you're like
membership, yes.
one of the membership program goals that you had was you wanted 50 new members by a certain
Yes.
time. So that would be like, hey, by the 15th, I have to have called 30 people, right? Or whatever. So they're just
Okay.
like little mile markers to make sure that you're on track with where your big goals are.
Got it. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
And a couple things on that, Dana. One is I'm not in control of others receive anything that I say. So I can tell a billion people, yes, I have to craft my message and all that, but I'm not in control if they sign up or do anything. And I say that specifically because I think about Jill and her membership program several times during the last couple of months because you've brought it up. And I have friends that have membership programs, one of which has over 35,000 followers on Insight, and she's struggling to have a membership program that meets her goals. So it really is, from a marketing standpoint, how do I clearly define what somebody can receive
Hmm.
by doing this? And then once I do that, to the best of my ability, I have no control if they do anything. But if I do that and allow, specifically for myself and for Jill, if I allow my soul, like Jill, you brought up before, to deliver that message, it has a better shot at being received than if I say I need to be on Instagram 9 times with 4 videos in different colored shirts.
100%. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. I couldn't say that louder because it's about what we're inviting and what we're saying to the right ears versus the frequency to the whatever, leave it to chance. And so to Jeff's point is that we don't need to necessarily follow a formula that is just for the sake of following the formula and being so unclear and not in alignment, but rather could we talk to the camera and say what we need to say in our own integrity, right? If you created that own that you said to yourself you wanted to show up daily, like Jill said, and that was your own integritist decision, making that again abundantly clear on how you feel like it's clear and you know that you're showing up for the people that you know need to hear that specific sales message. You know what it takes to create the difference between a follower and a client and a customer. They have certain things that they need to understand of themselves. Awareness, the problem awareness, solution awareness. They're aware of your brand as the unique person to do the job for them, and then they know the way that they're going to engage with the product itself and the offering itself. So sometimes there's some stages in there, and speaking to that at the appropriate stage is all how we do it as well. But we don't need to dig too much into the marketing aspect of it. Um, but yes, 100%. So let's go ahead and make sure all of our calendar looks nice and full, maybe some little drafts of some things that we need. And then let's go ahead and go into what your takeaways are from today. If you remember your intention, it feels like it would spend 5 hours ago because we've dug into so many topics today, very, very deep stuff. But if you can remember why you came to CEO Days today, what do you feel like you got out of it? What was the biggest takeaway for you? And how are you stepping out of this session today? What is the feeling that you have? If you can share with me, that'd be fantastic. I will just share one even for myself. A reflection is sometimes the shortfalls that I feel like I have are part of the story of my strengths. And that's what creates the unique person I am in this business that creates the experience I have. And if I didn't love it, if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be on year 10 of doing this all on my own. And so oftentimes I beat myself up and feel bad about things not being picture perfect or exactly as I had planned. But this was really helpful to see like how who I am and what I do is actually enough. And so I am grateful for you all for being here to help me recognize that. Leslie says she recognizes that the areas that hold her back, that the air that areas that hold me back that I am accountable for and think about how I can shift those things in myself. Yes. And Jeff mentions I was a bit down today, cluttered. The brain dump helped me get clear, and I have a whole lot of little things that are absolutely doable today and tomorrow, and it seems to be okay now. Oh, I love that. Deb got clarity on her priorities. Very nice. Thank you. Thank you.
I would say also the reflection of continuing the process of holding myself in high regard And just that's like such like that's Jill 7.0, that's Soulful Sovereign Jill, and like just continuing like one of my messages is slow down, simplify, and soften, and that's what I got. It's like, oh, let me just slow down, simplify, and soften, apply that same thing I'm teaching to others to myself, and I'll get the answer will come. And a little clarity around possibly changing the name of my podcast to something that's more reflective of what I'm actually doing. Because if people think I'm interviewing people, which I mean, clearly I'm not,
Right.
just maybe coming up with another like term that is more in alignment. So yeah, lots of so much, so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you all. And so our next session is going to be held. Let's go ahead and see that on it's let's see, is it the 27th? Hold on, let me see. April 27th. Why isn't my calendar? Ah, no, it skipped over. Okay, so know your audience on Monday, April 27th. We are going to dive a little deeper into a marketing component of audience exploration. So when we were talking about message, we talked about kind of who we are and how we present now. Is it relevant to the audience and who we're trying to serve? And are we sure of who that is? This is what next session is all about on April 27th. So please mark your calendars from 11 to 1 Central. And I hope to see you all there. Please keep in touch with me throughout the month to see how things are going. And I am so looking forward to seeing you all next session. Have a beautiful day, my friends.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good luck with all your adventures.